So hello everybody and welcome to a single kind of probably one-off, a little bit of a tutorial episode that I'm going to do here of me just doing a little bit of the world map. I'm going to do this with no time limit. I'm just going to take it nice and chill because I got a message the other day about how this guy really liked geography and stuff but didn't really understand how the game was played. So I'm going to take a little bit of time and go through my thought process, especially on how I see things in the game, because I've played a bunch of the game. If you've watched the 8 or 9 episodes of the series that I've been doing on the daily challenge against my friend FJ, then you've seen that I'm quite good. I typically get just over 21,000, 22,000 points. And I thought it would be something, I don't have Geoguessr Pro. I'll get it eventually, but not right now. It's something that I could probably shed some light on if people want to go and play more of the game, or if they just want to learn a little bit more. So first of all, if you're a complete beginner, you spawn somewhere in on Google Maps. So this is somewhere on Google Maps just with all of the actual Google stuff taken down. So you can't like see on the road here. It doesn't say, oh, I'm in, Belgium or wherever it happens that we are. I don't know if we're in Belgium. I kind of got a feeling that we might be, but that's the feelings thing. I'll get to that in a second. But for now, you spawn in somewhere on the map. You get this little arrow here that'll tell you what direction you're facing. The red one being facing north, the white one being south. That can be useful for when you played more of the game and you want to go and see. You want to be super accurate. So like if I zoom in, I'll go to where I kind of have a feeling we are, just to begin with here. So if I go in like here and I'm like, okay, so I'm here on like an offshoot of a road that seems to be going along this way if these are the feeder roads. So I know this is going to be an east-west road. So if I'm looking at this kind of an area here, I know that if I'm going to be anywhere here, it's going to be somewhere like this, because here's the east-west road. I'm on a north-south section of that east-west road that's kind of like leading into it. And I'm going to go move around a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can find anything particularly interesting. Now actually, if I go back just here a second, I saw something down here, just out of the corner of my eye. I saw this little blue sign that's on what looks to be the main road. So I'm going to try and work my way back onto that. I'm going to go bring myself back out onto this highway here. We can come down along. And there we go. Okay, look, so now we've got a load of information. I was wrong. We weren't actually in Belgium. We were in Germany. But now you got a load of information. So we know Berlin and Hamburg are going to be to the east of us, excuse me, because look, we've got a little arrow here pointing east. So we can zoom back out on our map over here and we can put in a placeholder guess. This is particularly useful for something like the dailies, where you're going to have much more like a kind of time constraint with what you're doing. So that would be like putting down a placeholder guess. But what we're going to do is we can look in. We know that Berlin and Hamburg are that way, which is kind of interesting because Hamburg and Berlin are quite far apart. But that just means that we're probably going in and around Hanover, and that we're going to want to go off onto the A2 to get onto either of these roads. We could actually be anywhere really, but we'll have a little bit of a look around. So we have two pieces of information. One of them is that we're going towards the 2. The other one is that the 6 is off to one side here. And look here, we can see in around Hanover, we've got the 6 in here on this road. And then we've also got the 2 up here. So if I can see somewhere where these two roads meet, like right here, for example. So you can see here that these two roads are kind of intersecting like that. And if I go back to where we started out, we can see the kind of shape of the road that we're on here. There's a bridge over there, which we can see, and then there's a bridge here. And can we see both of those bridges on the map? So we can see one of those bridges, which is probably this one here. And now, is there another one over here? Look, there is, because this bridge, see, because the road goes over to the top of it, and this one goes underneath, because this is like the priority road here, or at least it's being given priority on the map because it's got a higher elevation. So we know that's there. And also, look, there's a train line here, which is actually probably what this is then. Or maybe it's a pedestrian path. It matters less though. Actually, yeah, you can see it's a pedestrian path. Or some kind of like a little local access road. Although this kind of green marking here, I think makes it more of a pedestrian thing anyway. Because that would be like it's just a track. But yeah, so I think we're here. We can see the shape of the road that we're on. We're actually probably farther, a little bit more up here. Because these roads get super close together before they go and run around that way. So just right off the bat here, I did get a little bit lucky in that I saw that little bit of a sign there. But if you take in a lot of the information that you see right at the very beginning, then you can definitely gain a lot of information about where you're at. And I'm not going to be trying to go around and 5K everything just to show off or whatever, but I am going to take a little bit of extra time and to try and just like give people a little bit of a feeling. And I will talk a little bit about the feeling now. So this area, when we're looking at it, we can clearly tell that this isn't the same type of an area as the last one that we were in. It's way, way flatter to begin with. It's definitely not as urbanized, and it seems to be some kind of like a general like pastoral farming area. And then also we have a little signage here that I haven't read yet, but we'll get to it. We'll also look around, we'll see if there's anything here. It looks like it says a burned cable or a barbed cable or something, so that might be suggesting that we're in someplace like the United States with English and these kind of like big flat fields. There's roadworks ahead, and basically what you're doing when you're playing the game, and there's a stop sign, which is also quite handy, tells us we're not in like Portuguese-speaking countries. We have a lot of information that we can start building up by just moving around a little bit right at the start. And is that a neighborhood watch? Gross weight limit. And we're using tons as well instead of like kilograms or something. Again, kind of confirming that we're in some place like the United States, because that's a bit of information that you can use that can help you kind of pinpoint where you're at if you're not entirely sure, by using the measurements that a different country will use. Like America will use miles, all of the imperial stuff, and everywhere else basically will use like kilometers, were the places that you're likely to be. Then there's an extra little nugget that you kind of get with playing a lot of Geoguessr as I move around here. I think I saw a green sign here that could be a turn off for us. Bit of information. Okay, not particularly useful, but something that I was going to say and I've forgotten it. Oh well, we'll keep moving on here and we'll start looking around. Evangelical Free Church. I have absolutely no idea where that is. It's down that way, but I don't know where what parts of the world have got evangelical churches to be particularly common. But we do know we're in a flat area. We know that we're probably in the United States because they're using miles, and just the general kind of gist of things, it feels like we're in a certain type of geographical area, which I think is probably going to be the Great Plain here. So in between the Rockies and like the Appalachians and like the foothills of the Appalachians, and then possibly up here into like southern Canada. So basically this kind of terrain, very, very common all along this stretch of the United States and Canada. And we'll just keep looking around here a little bit more. So we can see there seems to be a bit of a grid around here, where you've got like, now granted this is just like not display, like a storage area, so that's not quite as useful. And so you've got like a straight line going in there, and then we have this like ridiculously straight road, which is really kind of telling of certain parts of the United States. And that's another reason why I think we're probably in that part of the world, because everything seems very straight, very sweeping, very kind of typical of the way things are done in the United States with their road layouts. And that's something that comes with a little bit of experience from playing the game. You do build up kind of look, there we go. Now we've moved around a little bit, and this is a super useful piece of information because we now know where we are. Basically, if you have a general knowledge of the states and the way that the states are what shape the states are in America, you can get like a lot of information on this. So see, we're on the Farm Road 1466 in Texas, because this looks like this. You can kind of see the outline of it here in the map, and because of how flat it is, I think we're probably a little bit farther north. So I'm going to put us in here near Amarillo to begin with, and we'll look around a little bit more and see if we can find some more information. But that's a pretty good kind of bit of collection of data. So you could see how we went from knowing nothing there to then we saw, oh, we're probably in like someplace flat. We're in someplace that speaks English. Then we saw that there was miles, so we knew, and tons, excuse me. So we knew that we were in the United States. And then look, now we've seen something here, San Angelino in, San Angelino in Texas. See, there's a little TX there. So trucks are something that are super, super useful. See, look, now we found San Angelino, and we could probably just go and spend like a bunch of time looking in around here for specific farm roads. I don't know if I'm super bothered about that here, but I will just a little bit so that you can kind of see the way that these roads kind of work, because you can see that these roads are all very, very small, and typically what you'll see is the numbers are grouped together. So like we're looking for the 1466, which is what we saw earlier. So I'm going to zoom in and see if any of these are that. It doesn't seem to be right away. Is there anything down here? It looks like the grid kind of breaks up a little bit here, so we've got to be a bit careful where we're looking. and I don't see it right off the bat. So, but just in case you hadn't seen this kind of information, I'm going to keep going a little bit farther, because knowing to look at that sort of knowing to look at vans like that, and then there's a little bit more of like a higher degree of skill, especially if you're in a bit of a pressured environment, like trying to do the daily and do well in the daily, which is typically what I'm trying to do. So like this is super relaxing for me, and I can just take my time and see everything. But if you're under a little bit more pressure, then maybe you wouldn't think to stop and look for that. But I think I'm probably okay here. This is a very long northerly stretch of road. This is something that we could possibly even find if we looked around on the map enough, because we know what road we're on. And we know that we're on a very, very a very strong northerly road here. So we can look around a little bit more and see if we get any extra information. 1800, 1800, more 1800, more 1900s, 1600. So maybe we're over on this side, because we don't have to be on that side of San Angelino. We could be anywhere here, because America is a very, very, very big place. So we've got 400s here. Maybe we'll find that the 1400 is just an offshoot of one of these. I feel like we're possibly a little bit closer than that though. So we want to keep just moving around, keep looking around, and eventually you'll find what you're looking for. You will find what you're looking for if you look for it for long enough, basically, is the way that the game works. Although that can be a little bit less fun and kind of takes a bit of the guessing out of it. But it's kind of misnamed a little bit there, because largely this is just a game where you find information, the information informs all of your decisions, where you make slightly less guesses. Now the guesses can obviously, excuse me, be very, very exciting and are probably the most fun part of the game. And I'm going to go here just because I think it's the safe bet. But the guessing is obviously very exciting and makes it a lot of fun. And when you get those random guesses where you're like, oh, I've got no idea where we're at, and you just put down a guess somewhere and you're super close. Ooh, we've got another piece of information. I want to go looking. There's like the itch. I have the itch from playing so much to like always try and get all of this information in my head and just know where to look and how to look. But I don't really feel like going through all of these roads. This gets a little bit overwhelming and a little bit nitpicky, and I'm not super interested in doing that right now. If I was doing some kind of a challenge where I was making a video and trying to, you know, maximize my points or something, then maybe this is something that I'd spend a lot more time doing, looking for this 619 or 619, because we all love Rey Mysterio. But that's going to do it for this round. We'll click this one and see where we end up. Hopefully we're pretty close, and we're 200 kilometers away. We're actually much farther away than I thought we were going to be. And we'll see if we zoom in here. Yeah, look, the 1466. And we ended up a long way away, because we ended up on like an almost exactly vertical north road. But oh man, we should have gone left here, and we could have gone into this town and found a load of information. But that's something that's going to be quite frustrating for a lot of people when you see something like this, where you go in, you think you found something that's giving you some information, like the San Angelino thing that we found and all that Texas information, but we weren't quite able to find the exact road that we're on, which is really weird. And then it just ended up being somewhere else. And if we had gone left, we would have found all of this lovely information here that tells us everything that we could ever want to know, as well as having a train line, and probably had a road sign that's like, oh look, Austin is right there. But that's part and parcel of the game, and we'll keep on going here. Ooh. Okay, so now we're in another completely different setting, because we're very clearly back in an urban area. But we're also, I think, at the very least, quite obviously not in Europe again. So at least for me, it's very obvious that we're not in Europe. But then when you see something like this, I'd like to think that a lot of people would think that we're not in Europe either. But so we're probably in like Southeast Asia here. And I don't know what this means, like at all. I actually have no idea. But what we can do is we can just flick around a little bit, and we can just look around and try and gather information. Because most of the time what you're doing when you're not like actually doing a challenge or something, and that looks very confusing. I have no idea what that says. What you're doing is you're looking around for something like one of these lorries or something might just say that we are like this here. Like, just imagine there's some text here. It might just say like, oh, that you're in Singapore, and that it's gonna go and give you a load of information and be like, oh, you're in like this district of whatever, and it's gonna tell you like the city, and it's going to tell you like the road that's like connected to. And I moved a long way there, I feel. No, I didn't. Okay, I just flicked across the road and got a little bit confused. Possibly moving back in towards the city is going to be better for collecting information. So I think, because I don't recognize any of this. I'm going to go back to the start, which is this little return to start button here. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to head into this urban area and see if we get any more information. Now, this is something that can kind of upend you as well if you're not careful with it. Sometimes on Geoguessr, they'll only have one side of the road mapped, and you'll kind of flick back and forth as you move along and you get more and more information. But oh, this red bus here, if we can get close to it, doesn't look like it. Can we get close to it? It looks like it might have some good information. Okay, so look, we actually have something here. And SG. So we actually, amazingly, we might just be in Singapore, because I think that's going to be the only SG country. Oh, there's no G in Singapore. Huh. So where are we? Oh, yeah, there is. Oh my god, there is a G. That's very silly of me. But yeah, so look, now we found that piece of information. So now we know we're there. Or at least we have a strong idea that we're there, and we can just keep looking around with that kind of in mind. And that obviously was very lucky, because I had no idea where we were, and you saw that I had no idea where we were. And then we were looking around, we saw something, which was that bus that we were like, ooh, this could be like a kind of a pinpoint of interest, something that's gonna be noted specifically with like an area that you're at. And I still have absolutely no idea what any... Oh! Hong Link. Is that going to be something? No, Hong Kong's way too far away. So we can just keep on moving along here, keep looking around, see if we find anything. I feel like we just skipped something good there, but let's look here, see if this says anything. Now, what is Batok? Is that one of these places? No. So we could probably just look... Oh, look! Ah, I didn't realize that. So this is that PIE road. So now we know that somewhere along this PIE road, which... it actually ends, does it end there or does it continue? It continues down around here. So this looks like it's like a central artery that connects people all throughout the city. And the way that we were feeling, I think we might be like up here. Maybe not this far in. Yeah, like back here. Like back there a little bit. And then Batok. What is Batok? So that's probably just one of these regions here. So we look around a little bit, we'll probably find Batok somewhere. It's mentioned constantly there. There's Bedok. So you would imagine it's probably going to be somewhere in around this kind of an area. Maybe there, maybe here. Nah, I don't think so. Maybe here. Maybe we'll just go here. But are we on that, or are we going on to the PIE? That's going to be something interesting for us to find. Because it could be that like this road down here would connect you to it, because I think that's what it was kind of suggesting there, that you would be taking a right turn to go towards it. And then because of specifically the way that Singapore is set up, it's a super urbanized city. Like, it's basically just a gigantic city. Ooh, I saw something. We found I saw something there on one of these signs. Yeah, look here. Bucket Batok. And I think I saw a bucket somewhere. Yeah, look, Bucket Batok. Okay, yeah, so we're back here. We know that the SIE is going to be to our south, so we're probably coming into that here. And then I think we might be back, maybe a little bit farther back than that. I think it was more of an intersection. Something like this. Maybe. So, or maybe even farther back, like all the way back here. Well, we can click the buttons and move around a little bit. We've only come straight down along this road, so we can actually look in here and we can see if we're going to see the Bucket Batok driving center. See if that's going to give us some nice information here. I feel like it might be just in and around here somewhere. Look at reagency. Look around a little bit, see if we can find it. No, it doesn't look like we're going to find it right now. Let's go back to the start here. Got a little river here, a little stream, which could be really useful in finding out where we are actually, because the waterways are marked on the map, like here, like right here. And that's going to go and separate off. Does it separate off like that? Let's take a look at what this does. Seem like it might be that interesting. No, because look, it's actually like an X here. There's actually just like a straight road coming through. So we know that's not our interchange. We feel like it's probably not that one. Let's look back farther up here. It's not any of these. Okay. So we've gained some more information again. And keep looking around. And we are definitely, yeah, we're heading south here. So we can just look around a little bit more. and then I'll probably just make my guess, because I know that we're somewhere in here in Singapore, but you could be looking forever on these areas, and a lot of the game is about having fun and then knowing when to click guess, because there is no point in just overdoing it massively, because then you just won't be having quite as much fun, because you end up doing this stuff forever. Now I do quite enjoy spending a lot of time finding out exactly where we are, and if I was doing this just for myself and not trying to have it as being a little bit of an instruction on how I play, then I'd definitely be spending an awful lot more time doing this, which actually I think this is us. That's probably possibly us right there. I'd spend a lot more time doing this, and I'd go ridiculous with it. Ooh, wait. Is this us? No. No, that's not us. That's not the right angle. But that's something that you can then get super into as well, as angles and whatever. But I'm going to guess there, and we're going to see where we end up. Now, because I don't have the paid version, again, we're going to have to wait a couple seconds here. Oh man, okay, so continue the game. Let's see, how do we do? 2.2 kilometers away, so we were actually up right in here. I didn't think this looked like us. Oh, I guess this is coming over the top there. Okay. Oh well, that's fine. You know, you can't be too mad with something like that. I did look, and I just didn't quite think that this looked like the area. I didn't think this looked like the right angle for us. But anyways, that's fine. That's part of the game as well. And you can see, even when you even look at an area, sometimes that you don't quite find everything you're looking for. And now we're in another very, very different area, but there is a certain vibe that you get here. I think the certain vibe that we're getting here is that we're in some kind of like a bit of an older suburb, because it looks a little bit more developed. All the trees look very well developed, and the houses look not quite run down, but they look like they're set into where they are. They look like they've been here a long time, and it gives me a feeling that we're probably in the United States, because this sort of thing is something you can also see quite often in the United Kingdom. But something that's different that we're seeing here is the front of these registration plates is white, but then the back of them is also white, which you don't get in the United Kingdom, which is the other kind of area where you can see this kind of urban development. And we get out into a little bit of clear air here. We can look around a little bit and see, again, this kind of signage, this kind of way of having road markings done out, very, very typical of the United States. So we're going to go and move, and that moved me significantly farther than I thought we were going to. But this is something that you can see very, very regularly, is these kind of like little small town America things. And what we're going to try and do is get down in here and see and look for these kind of like key points of interest that are going to tell us where we are. Kind of like that bus on the Singapore thing. But what we're going to do, so see, we know we're on the York Road now, and we can move up here. And is this going to give us anything? Better hearing center, foot care specialist. Does it say what town we're in, or does it say what state we're in? Typically what we're looking for here is something like a bank is generally like a really good thing to find. Even like a McDonald's, they can be super, super useful. These like big gyms can also be handy, but this one doesn't seem to be quite as forthcoming with the piece of information that we're looking for, which is the location. But we did also see a United States flag, which does 100% confirm that that's where we're at. Let's see, what is this? Is this a burger joint? Maybe this will have some information for us. No, it doesn't look particularly like it. No, it doesn't. Okay, let's go along again. Move up here to the cinema, see if the cinema has Donut King, Toy Story, The Exorcist. I mean, like, there's a lot, some good movies there. But again, that's not really what we're looking for, so we're going to look. The Junior League of Baltimore. So now we know that we're in and around Baltimore anyway, possibly in a little town on the outskirts of Baltimore. Now, I don't know quite where Baltimore is, but I do recognize the name, so that's something that we're going to be able to go and look for specifically on the map. Anything here that's going to give us some good information? No, I don't see anything. Again, with the York Street, York Road. Let's move on a little bit farther, see if we can get some information here, because these look like they'd have some kind of a state name, possibly, or a city name. No, it doesn't. Got a Staples there. Some more information to pick up. Some little like single unit rental properties that unfortunately don't really give us that much, I don't think. Let's see, does this place have any what is that? Nail lash? I don't know what that means. I thought it might have been like a beauty salon or something, but I have no idea now. Okay, let's actually see this. This sign could have some good information on it for us. It possibly does there, but I can't see it. I can't quite zoom in enough. But let's keep looking around just a little bit further. There's a big church here on the left-hand side, which hopefully will have some information for us. Give us a specific information. Come on, lads. No, again, we're not really getting what we want here. We can keep on looking, keep on looking. Yeah, look, there's another on the side of that waste bin there. Just caught it out the corner of my eye. Keep Baltimore clean. So we're in and around Baltimore. Fantastic. That's just another confirmation. There could be more. What does that say? Tucson? No, Towson. Okay. So because there could be more than one Baltimore, that's also something that you have to keep in mind. That's why I'm continuing to look around. Ah, look at that. Baltimore, Accelerator Building, Maryland. So now we know what state we're in. So we know that we're in the state of Maryland here. We know we're in and around Baltimore. But Baltimore, as you can see here, very, very, very big. And then we could go and look around a lot for like that specific York Street. But what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to take a little bit more time. And we're going to look around a little bit more and see if we can find a bit of a bigger road here. Because this looks like a pretty decent sized urban area, but definitely not big enough to be the heart of the main city. So possibly what we could see is a suburban road that would be like, oh, we're here. Like for example, here it could be like, oh, we're on like the Interstate 40, which I believe is what this is. Or if we zoom in closer, we could be like on East 33rd Street, which could give us a lot of information if we could see something like that. No, okay, we can't see it there. We can tick down to the next one of these intersections though, because these cities in America typically are built out on the grid so that they can be expanded quickly. So you can see, we can see here Glenwood Avenue, which isn't really what we're looking for. It is long term because that will give you like some really, really good specific information. But because it's a very specific place name, it can be a little bit more difficult to pinpoint on the map when you're just looking for something general like that kind of 33rd Street or something. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come up here, see if these signs give us anything. There's Beaumont Avenue. So that just makes me feel like we're kind of in a very suburban area. So if I look around here, I'm looking in on these places, these place names and stuff. Ballina, no. York, Yorktown. That makes me feel like this York Road. Yeah, look, there's our York Road. So what we're looking for here is where the... Oops, can I find our little sign here? Yeah, look. So this one says York, this one says Beaumont. So we know that somewhere along this York Road, it's going to say Beaumont. And then that's basically all that we have to do is just look for a little while here. We can go scroll down along. I'm not going to be super crazy about, oh, there's Towson. That's something that we saw. Is that on this sign? Morgan State. Ooh, that's another big piece of information that we can see there. This one here says Towson 3. Does that say 35 or 3.5? That's something good to know. We keep zoomed in. 3.5. Okay, so cool. So Towson is to our north and 3.5 kilometers away. And then... So, that's Towson. That's probably just the town that we're in. So we're in here somewhere then. York Road, Hillside. We'll go there for now, and then I'm going to go and look at what this was. Because that told us that we were, where was it? What was it? Morgan State University. We can probably zoom out a little bit and see if we can see this Morgan State University anywhere in and around here. Geoguessr College. It's not really what we're looking for. Morgan State University. It feels like that would be something that's going to have a big sign. A big area dedicated to it specifically. It might even be just a small thing. It might be some like little institute. But I'm pretty happy with where we are there. I think this is pretty likely to be where we're at. And we know we're 3.5 miles away from the center, or at least from the outskirts of Towson. We know we're heading north to get in there. And I think that's good. Well, we did come through here actually. So we're probably, because we've come down this way quite a long way. So if I go back to the start, we dip out here, which is the way that we went to begin with, we can kind of get a better idea of where we really, really are here. So we come back here to that first clearing that we were at, which is with York Street, which is the one that we were on. And the intersection was with Lake Avenue. It's like over here somewhere, probably over on this side of the city. So if we look in a little bit, let's see if we can see lake. Lake. There's a lake. Is that going to be us? No. Any other lakes around that could give us some? I feel like we probably weren't this far. I don't think I moved that far. No. Does that stop being lake? Oh yeah, look, it stops being York there. Huh. Some more information for us. Lake. Lake. Yarmouth, Sussex, Stoneleigh, Winson. Oh, where did I go here? Go south here? I did, I went south. And that brought me through the town centre. So does York... No, York doesn't continue up here. Where is that? Where on earth are we... Oh, Yorktown. Is that us? I feel like we're not in that much of a built-up area. But I think that's probably going to do it. I think I'm okay with guessing there. Unless it's like into Ainsley. But then you can see how like into it you can get. But we're going to guess. Yeah, we're a little bit away. We were down... What's this? Where even is it? Oh wow, we were quite a ways down. That is 3.5. I guess we were pretty zoomed in. But yeah, so we did really well there. We're 2.7 kilometers away. And now, what does this look like? What kind of feeling does this give you? This feels either right now, just off the bat from what I'm looking at, it feels quite Irish, or it feels possibly Scottish, kind of like Highlandy. We'll click around a little bit and we'll just pick a direction. We'll go in it and we'll see if we find any information. Now, I've got a bit of an advantage being Irish when it comes to the Irish guesses, but oh look, we're probably in France then, because Les Vitorales, which I don't know what it means, but that definitely feels French. And then because this countryside, and actually we did skip a piece of information there, that could be useful. There's this little kind of corner road sign here. The C208, so that is also a piece of information we're looking for here. That's a dead end, so that's good for us to know. But this C208 is like a little country road that they have, so because of the way the classification of roads works in France, that's another thing that you, after playing the game for quite a while, will start to notice is these countries have got very specific, but also kind of like weird nomenclature for their roadways and stuff. Does it give us anything? No, that's a pretty bad quality image. Can we go down this way? We can. We're going to keep going this way. We're going to keep going the direction that we originally headed in and hopefully find some nice information along here somewhere. And it looks like we might be getting into possibly an urban area. No, it's just a little rundown countryside cottage, which looks quite pretty. We can keep going here. There's some bigger farmhouses, so hopefully eventually if I keep going this way we will get something. But what I was going to say about the feeling that I got to begin with of this being kind of Scottish, kind of Irish, is that it makes me feel like we're probably in a little bit of a more northerly area. Are there any of these places that I recognize truffles? Do I know where they grow truffles in France? No. But you know, it's something that if you do know that sort of information, it can be super, super useful. But also if you know that information, I feel like you're someone that's also played this game a bunch. Because that's the kind of information that ends up just sticking in your head. You'll see like, oh, this place is like a specific truffle producing region, and then you'll remember that forever. So now we know we're in this village of Molière, maybe. But wow. Oh wow, this is beautiful. Such a little gem. This place is stunning. Oh my god, I like this very, very much. I don't want to do that. I'd like to be a little bit more gentle with my movement here so I can actually see around a little bit. Can I get through? Can I get back there? Oh, that's kind of sad. I want to go that way. Just to like sightsee a little bit. That's really cool. That's something that I love about this game personally, especially when I take it a little bit more slowly, is just being able to go and take your time and find these little places and just be really able to appreciate them, because this is beautiful. This is very, very nice. Okay, let's pop back over here, because this looked like that kind of avenue that we could get down. Yeah, and hopefully there'll be some nice specific information here. Like this could be like a tourist information board. Doesn't really look legible for us though, even if that's probably what it is. Oh, now I might finally finish my train of thought. I got distracted by how pretty this area was. What I was saying about the feeling is because I got the feeling this is kind of like a more like, it feels northern. It feels like it gets a lot of rainfall. See this though, this is like sandstone, which makes me think this is possibly a bit of a coastal area. Which is interesting. Just gives you that extra little bit of information. Any of these say anything particularly noteworthy? I don't think so. Obviously, once you get to the end of the round, all of that information is very useful. Can I not get on this like road that I was on before either anymore? Okay, there we go. Now can I pop all the way over there? No, so they didn't track down there. That's a little bit annoying. Let's go up here and see if I can go down that way. No. Okay, so let's look around in northern France for this Molière place on the C205. And then we can also look for that stuff in a little bit as well. Let's go France. probably up here in the north. This is the kind of area that I'm feeling here. It's a little bit hilly though, so maybe even a little bit farther north. And then let's look in. But you have to go quite a long way in, possibly. A lot of D around here. You see roads. Interesting. Are they going to be even smaller then? Do I have to come all the way in here? If it's like this, then I'm not super interested in looking for that right now, honestly. But, information. Is that going to be here? Anything that we can find? No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe we just need to go and take a big leap. Come down here a little bit, see if the seas decide to pop up. No, they still don't want to show up. Let's check down over here. I feel like this is far too far south. And then the next order of business is going to be go look over towards Germany. Let's go up here. We're not going to go into Germany. I think that's probably a little bit too extreme. But we can pop in here and have a little bit of a look-see. Still the D. Maybe we're not in France. Maybe I've been wrong all along. Maybe we're in like Belgium or something. La Linde. Le Pan de Tan. It's French, man. They're speaking French here. Let's have a little look. Let's see if they use the C here. No, it doesn't look like it. No. Okay, cool. It's not that. Maybe take a little look in Luxembourg. See if there's the C's in here. Again, no. Interesting. And you can see like every road in the country though here. That's actually super useful. Thank you, Luxembourg, for being small and having like not a lot of roads. Like you could pretty easily find the 200 and whatever in here. 205, 204. Like yeah, look, 200s in around here. You can zoom in. So we see any more. Yep, more 200s, more 200s. And you can get just lost in this sort of stuff. But I have no idea where we are in France because I still feel like we're here. Maybe let's take a little look in this side of Switzerland, although we're definitely not in Switzerland, so that was a bit silly. We're not in Italy. This doesn't feel Italian at all. Could be here and around here in the south of France. Let's see. You know what? The Brittany is the strange area of France. Maybe there's something up here for us. Maybe they've gone all completely off the wall with their road numbering and stuff. No, still nothing. Very, very interesting. I have no idea. I have no idea where we are. It's a little bit of a disappointing way to end this little bit of an introductory video, but actually, that's something that I can talk about for a little bit. So the point of the game is to get this score here as high as you can. The goal is to get into the get 5,000 on every single guess. The reason why you want to do that is because that's the maximum score of the game. And then you have 5 rounds that you do back to back to back to back, going to all of the places that we've seen here today, and then all of the places like what we've seen here today. I doubt that any of you will ever actually see any of these little places unless you specifically look for them. But this is lovely. Oh, this is fantastic. I enjoyed this very, very much. But just, you're trying to get 5,000 points, and the closer that you get to those 5,000 points, the closer you get to getting a maximum score, and makes you do a little bit better, and you do get a little bit closer to being kind of unbeatable. So that's what I'm doing in the multiplayer stuff, is I'll go and try and get as close to 5,000 points on every single guess. And I think I'm going to stick with my original guess. I'm going to go up here. Let's go up near Beauvais. A little farther north than Beauvais. Maybe a lot farther north than, maybe up near like Calais. Because it definitely looks wet. But let's go. Let's see. Guess. Ah, we were super wrong. Damn it. But how close do we have to go in to see this sea road then? Hello? Little road. Because this is the little town we were in. Look, there's that square. This is where we were standing when we guessed. Okay, so we could never even see. That's a little bit frustrating. But so that was that. I got 3,000 points there. I was quite a long way away, but what can you do? That's part of the game. I was pretty confident was being up there. It turns out we're just in the middle of the south of France. Absolutely beautiful area. We weren't even coastal. But there we go. That's my little bit of an introduction on how to play Geoguessr. That was my round where I think I did pretty well. I think actually my score was generally quite good. But thank you all very much for watching. And if you enjoyed it, I can definitely do more of these sorts of things. A little more of a breakdown on how to play the game. But that's going to do it. And I will talk to you all hopefully in the Geoguessr videos with FJ. So goodbye.